We are locked and loaded and ready to go. You can count on us every week to be here on Sundays, delivering hot off the press, fresh real estate news for you and all your friends to be able to hear first. But at the end of the day,
did you see that? Did you hear that?
How's your ear?
Something just grazed right by my head there.
Trump playing golf, right? Because everyone's talking now. He's like, there's a certain side that's just like, man, what a legend. Took a bullet, and the next day he didn't miss his tee time. Vote him in, right? This is what some people are, right? And then there's other people who are just like, the audacity for him to go play golf the next day. Did he even call one of the victims' families yet to let him know?
People were like, that was a setup. He put that on for everybody. So he would
listen,
good.
I need you to just miss my head by a little bit so that I just bleed on my ear. All right.
That's right. When I say the word do, I'm going to turn my head ever so
I'm going to say make America great again. And you're going to shoot. And then we're going to kill you. All right. This sounds like a good deal, right?
Crazy.
No way.
Was that though? TK?
I think it's you know, part of the
American that it didn't happen a while
society. Ago. Oh yeah, who's moving to the States again? I forgot.
Right, everybody.
Right, everybody wants to move to the States.
That's right,
because people just walk around with AR-47s. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just type in the show anywhere you go. Leave us a comment, leave us a review, and we appreciate you guys sharing the content as well.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I'm double subscribed. Do it yourself. Didn't get to fix the show though.
Share the content. That's what I was going to say, TK. You must know somebody out there that might think that this is worth watching. So just take a second, think about somebody that might like the show and share with them, because sharing is caring, right?
Check out the link below if you want to book a call with me.
Yeah, or get a free t-shirt, right?
Please subscribe. And
well,
without anybody, well, actually it's not true without anybody noticing, because I don't know what social media you're on, TK, but it seemed to me that there's plenty of people that saw that guy like lining up the shot for minutes and nobody really did anything. Apparently
they're just like, oh, that's one of the Secret Service guys. He's just wearing
they're like, there's a shooter
Detroit
on
Red
the
Wings
roof.
jersey.
Hey,
and
there's a shooter on the roof, guys. Hey, for like 3 minutes. They're like, I think that guy's gonna shoot the president. Maybe you guys want to like at least go check him out, right?
Talk to him or something. Just see if that's a real gun or not, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
So, but what were you saying? This is the world we live in.
This is the American society, right? Where you've got guns everywhere.
Society.
And when people decide to do something, when they've got some sort of emotional decision that's, all twisted because they've been sitting in their basement for the last 3 weeks, not sleeping, they go out and do crazy things. When they got access to guns like that, things like this can happen.
Crazy things.
Remember the Boston bomb, the Boston Marathon bombers? Those guys, they did like a TV show, like a documentary. So you really got to find out all the details. I wonder if this guy will become the same thing, or if he's not.
Well, for sure. I mean, this guy's already become a whole thing.
Let's just classify him as the guy who missed Trump, not the guy who shot Trump.
Yeah, he missed him. Jesus,
he did not spend enough time at target practice before he made that shot. It's a pretty important shot. It's a big shot too. It's a long shot.
It wasn't a long shot. It was a short shot.
Daryl, you wouldn't have hit the broadside of a barn from that distance
with today's equipment.
47.
With today's scopes, TK, I don't think it's that difficult from that distance. That guy was like in right field. Okay,
let's stay on the politician talks here. Okay, so Trudeau, right? So Trudeau met with.
Could that happen here? Is the question? Could it?
No.
Would it?
No, we don't have enough guns. Canadians aren't like that. But Trudeau's talking to that group who is advocating for taxing your principal residence. So everybody's getting antis in a bunch. They're just like, oh my gosh, he's talking to them again, and that they're going to be, thinking about taxing our principal residence. I know they want my money. I know they want to do it. But at the end of the day, like,
how do you segue to this?
Because we're talking about the president, and now we're going to the Prime Minister Trudeau, and then I'm going to go to
Right.
Olivia Chow right after. How about that?
I think that sounds wonderful.
Good. So Trudeau, like you've been hearing about this, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
And so everyone
What?
keeps. Well, people are messaging me,
Maybe.
and people are at the office and work and stuff like that. They're just like, "What happens if they tax our principal residences?
Oh, this. Yeah.
What are we going to do?"
Oh my God.
Right.
Tax it when you sell it.
Yeah. And you know what? Like there probably is some form of taxation that would make sense at some point, not to be the guy who everyone hates or anything like that.
Oh my God. What did
But
you
even-
just fucking say?
Even the group that was petitioning for it, they were saying that like only 5% inclusion rate after a certain amount of years or whatever it is. Right. But like, I mean, if you're flipping houses right now, we've already got the anti-flipping tax. So if it's within a year, but you know, maybe there's capital gains between 1 and 5 years or something like that, you know, get people hanging on to their houses a little bit longer. Speculation.
Why?
Daryl, speculation needs to end. Do you know how many? So I've been hearing this my whole career.
Some
people are just like this.
speculation.
I've got it all figured out. What I'm doing is I'm buying houses, I'm renovating them, I'm fixing them up, and it's the best tax. It is. It's literally the best tax loophole that we've got. They're taking money, they're taking cash, right? A lot of guys build with cash, and then all of a sudden, I bought the house for 900. Now I'm selling it for 3 million. It's my principal residence. What do you mean? You know, this may or may not happen in North York a lot.
I may or may not know someone who's done that in their lifetime.
Right. And so it's this huge tax shelter that you got to take your money and that you got to wash it in your house. They don't know how much those renovations cost, but all they know is that you bought it for 900 and sold it for 3 million, and that it's tax free because it's your principal residence. Right. And so what people do is they take advantage of this system. And so they do it over and over and over again, where they're constantly saying to the government, I just sold my principal. I got lucky again. Oh my God. I sold it for another 100% profit.
Yeah.
And now there's cases where they did that 6-7 times over the course of 8-9 years, and they were taxed as business income, and they've retroactively reassessed them in order to be able to cover those taxes. So like, it's not a guaranteed way, but how many people have already been getting away with it for the last 20 years?
Oh my God. For how long? Forever.
Whatever. But like, there's people who've been already getting away with it with the big gains that have happened over the last 20 years, and they got rich off of it.
But this is not the speculator so much that we need to get rid of, because there's a definite market and a definite need for people that fix things up properly and bring them into the current age, right? Most people don't want to go buy a bungalow and then spend $1.2 million on their own, or find a general contractor and go through all that. A lot of people just want, I mean, we've talked about it before, haven't we? Most people just want that finished product. They don't want to go through the hell of that kind of a renovation. So, I mean, we do need to kill speculation, but not all of the speculation. I mean, we do need some of this. Don't we need new custom homes that replace the bungalows that were from 1943?
If we get rid of the development charges and the government sticky fingers all over the end product's purchase price, right? They'll be able to pay their fair share of other taxes. Right.
I'm not saying
you remove those. So then the guys who are making money, who are flipping houses, building houses and all that kind of stuff, can have a profit margin, and they can write off their expenses, and they can figure out where they stand at the end of the day. And they can probably make about roughly the same amount of money as if they were cheating the tax system, but the taxes then get allotted to the right place, and it prevents other people from doing it who shouldn't. And then you got all these builders who build. Listen, the people who build houses with no HST, with no Tarion, most likely are the guys who don't know what they're doing. I'm not saying they're all like that, but
they should
the
obviously
guys who don't know
be
what they're
eliminated.
doing, chances are don't have Tarion. Chances are they're not thinking about HST and all that other stuff too, right? Are you a real estate agent and you're looking to make a change anywhere in Ontario? Guess what? We're hiring. Franklin & Associates, #1 team in the GTA for all RE/MAX teams, #1 team for all teams from all companies for number of units sold throughout Toronto. So if you're looking to make a change, best decision I ever made was to join Franklin & Associates. Go to jointeamleo.com and we can set up a call.
Right. But that's not the same thing. Like we're trying to get rid of speculation. We're trying to get rid of those people that are taking the money out of their line of credit and buying a condo and flipping a piece of paper before the thing has even, been closed on one time, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the people that bought a house so that it loses $500 a month, right? Because one day it's going to be worth more and I'm going to sell it and I'm going to make a fortune. We want to eliminate those people. But I think we want the investors who buy something that makes money every month, that, provide a service or a place to live for people that need it and do it properly. I mean, a government license, is that going to do it? I mean, anybody can get a government license for anything. I mean, that doesn't mean you're going to be a good landlord.
I'll give you a story. This is where I'm coming from, Darryl. Not because I think that I don't want it done or anything like that. I'm trying to protect the people who shouldn't be doing it in the first place. Because when they know that there's going to be these tax implications, they won't get involved with something that they shouldn't. Here's a real story. And I'm going to be sending this guy an email, and my YouTube link is going to be in it. And so hopefully he doesn't listen to this show because he's going to know I'm talking about him. But this is what the guy did. So he bought a house at the peak of the market, $1.5 million in Toronto. He said, okay, I'm going to renovate it and I'm going to spend a few $100,000 in order to be able to turn it into a 3-unit property. It's already a legal duplex. I'll make it into a duplex with a basement apartment. And the renovation ended up costing him $800,000.
Whoa!
He went a little bit over budget.
Oh, God.
And he's not in an ideal location, on an ideal street, on an ideal lot, anything at all.
What's the house worth?
The house now, because he's in 1.5 plus 800 closing costs, real estate, everything else like that, you got to sell for no less than like 2.6 to like break even.
And what does the area command?
Definitely not 2.6, maybe 2.2, maybe. Like it's like the area is like 1.5 still, but like because his is so nice, like I could probably easily get 2 million, but let's say 2.2 just to round up.
But doesn't that guy deserve to be killed?
Here's where the money came from. Refinanced his parents' house.
Oh no!
For the renovation money.
We're gonna be partners on this, Mom and Dad.
Monthly
expenses. We're gonna make a fortune.
Monthly expenses right now.
$8 billion.
Is $7,000, $8,000 negative cash flow.
On just that one property?
Yeah.
What? Hold on.
There's 2 mortgages. The large mortgage.
There's only 3 units.
So the price went up. The total rent he can collect, plus the total cost of debt service, property taxes, maintenance, insurance, utilities, he's down $8,000 a month. How long do you hold on for?
If he's
$96 grand a year that you're losing.
Don't tell him to split it up into much smaller spaces.
I give
him as many small spaces as possible.
No, I told him to rent it out. I told him to get it all rented out, and maybe he can go live somewhere else, like in a bedroom somewhere, to make his rent cheaper, cut back on expenses. Find another job, do some Ubering and stuff like that, and weather the storm.
Why? I mean,
you're guaranteed out 400K or 500K if you sell now, and maybe you can weather the storm. I mean, if you hang on to it for 10 years, you'll get through it. But it's a hard thing.
Why only 3 units though? And how did he come up with the budget?
Well, obviously he didn't have a budget. Obviously the budget started somewhere and it went more because probably mistakes happen. Have you ever had any issues doing renovations where you had to pay more money in the end because it didn't go so well with the first guy?
Well, but it didn't take me to a point where I was so far over market value that obviously I made way more mistakes than just that when I was doing the calculation.
But you know what I'm trying to say is, right? If your budget is 3, but it should have been 5, but then 5 you screw up and then it turns into 8. Sometimes things get out of control.
It sounds like it started at like 150 and ended up at 8, because how would it have made sense ever? I mean, the guy would have had to do it for basically that.
He's from out of town, so I don't think he knew every bit of the area and the markets and stuff like that. But regardless, anyways,
I feel bad for the guy. Some fucking asshole realtor.
Just made a mistake. So I know that he can get through it, and I know that people can weather the storm. But man, it's tough. It takes a lot out of you. He's young, so he can do it.
Realtor tells him, hey, buy this thing, put 50 grand into it. I know a guy. Don't worry about it. Next thing you know, we're going to refinance this, pay your parents back. I got you covered, bro. We're going to do 18 of these.
Do you have a deposit? You don't have a deposit? I could get you the deposit.
Don't worry. We'll borrow the deposit. 40% a month. Does it sound okay with you? We're on.
Probably close it in 6 months, Doug. Give you more time to get the drawings. All right. Olivia Chow.
Olivia
Honestly,
Chow.
good
You
news
got
or
an
bad news for
agenda today.
good news or
Holy.
bad news for developers in Toronto?
Olivia Chow?
Olivia Chow.
I don't fucking know. I mean, I don't think she's done anything that's spurred any construction or any sales in construction. So currently, I would say she's a big fat nothing burger.
Well, I think she's got her little housing um menage a trois there with Bradford and the other guy. So she's got a little team of people working on housing. And Brad's
Yeah,
pretty
they're
like I think
working on it.
he's on the developer side, right? We can agree on that.
Brad is definitely on the
Yeah.
developer
So she
side.
appointed
No doubt
him. So
about that.
obviously she sees his vision. She's
Yeah.
got 65,000 new rent controlled residential units coming in over the next 7 years.
65,000 over 7 years. So that's
Okay.
less than 10,000 per year. And where are these happening? In Toronto.
In Toronto. It's all this city, Toronto. Yeah.
Really?
Right. Now, obviously, she's fighting for tenants' rights, which is, like really do we
Affordable
really need to
units?
fight rent control. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
the debate on definition of what affordable is still up in the air. No
Where's
one really
the
has like a number on that yet.
where's
It's kind
the
of just like
incentive to build them
affordable.
though for the guy who can actually build?
it's
Where's
the
that?
government incentives. Government incentives.
There's none. There is
Yeah,
none.
create TO, that kind of stuff. Like they're taking big losses there, those guys. They're
Are
using
they?
our money to create those freaking places. Like they don't know what they're doing. But
They-
anyways,
that's
she's committed
exactly-
to it. She's committed to it. She's raised taxes,
Yeah, that's
which is good. Which is good. Raising taxes is good. I mean,
She
no one
just
wants
raised
to pay more
development
tax.
charges 42%.
That wasn't her.
What do you mean? She allowed that bill to be passed with that in it. She didn't have to allow
yeah, but
that
it's
in.
not like she came up with it. And obviously, when those things happen, they've already spent that money before they even got it. Like they looked at that bill and they were just like, we need to get rid of it, but if we do, we're broke. So they couldn't.
She also triggered the CMHC fuck up where they reduced the amount of years of the amortization on loans and just changed everything so that we'd have to kind of try and fit affordable into these rental buildings.
You're sure about this? This is not hearsay.
This is what I'm saying. This is I
This is
say,
what
not
you-
hearsay.
Okay, so this is
listen,
Darryl say.
there was maybe 200 people in the whole world who watched this meeting from beginning to end. And the meeting started with Olivia Chow telling everybody, I want your support for this bill, but find a way to make sure that people build affordable as part of this.
Well, that's
and
her
then,
stick.
Then the next week,
CMHC.
the next week, CMHC changed their thing and forced, if you want to get 50-year amortization and you want to get the best rates and you want to get 100 points, you have to do some kind of affordable component. That happened like 3 or 4 days after that whole other thing with the new zoning change.
CMHC takes so long in order to be able to actually write up anything. I guarantee you it has nothing to do with Olivia Chow, but I don't actually know what I'm talking about. So, but we'll put that in the negative side. The rest
are you on
good.
Olivia Chow's side? Are you saying she's good?
I'm saying I'm trying to think about whether or not she is good for development, right?
Not
And
good
so again,
for
we're going to put that in the
nothing,
bad corner.
Bad.
Put that in the bad corner. She
She's
has
bad.
supported the 60 unit on major streets. She was at the meeting.
That was good. That worked out good for me.
Okay.
I love
all right.
her actually. Now that I think about it, TK.
Okay.
This
She got
woman-
$143 million from the feds for the refugees because those refugees are just living. They're on the streets at the signs. They're talking about how they're refugees. And like, I know how much money they're getting from the government. I don't know. They're still at the traffic lights for some reason. I'm not sure why.
I think it's
The streets even more now. Now we got them in some sort of hotel somewhere.
You disappeared for a second there. Your internet connection is horrendous today.
Really?
Yeah. So hold on. What did you say? They disappeared? What happened?
Oh,
No,
she got
you
$143 million from the federal government for the refugee like support. You know what I mean?
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Really? Why don't we just tell them to go somewhere that has, enough money for them? We don't have enough money for refugees.
If I'm a refugee and I move to Canada because my country I'm going to die in, so obviously I want to go somewhere, and I go to Canada.
No, there's no room.
I'm going to Toronto. Where are you going?
Everything's fucked, man.
Where
Everything's
are you going?
fucked here.
You're going to go to Saskatchewan?
You have
Although you
to
can live really good over there on that.
You
$5,000
have
a
to.
month.
Listen, my friends, if you're coming to Canada, go to Saskatchewan. It's cheap.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And have
They're
like 10
friendly.
babies.
You don't even have to climb a
paying
hill.
Every baby you get.
Everything's flat. You just walk flat. It's easy on your knees.
Just
Okay.
don't go outside between January and March.
So here's another reason to not live in Toronto. Apparently, rent inflation is still going up in Canada. Even though you keep saying rent's going down, I keep
I
reading that
never
rent's
said
going
that. I
down.
say year over year. It was
Month over
going up,
month, it's been
but it was
going
a
down.
Canadian month over month stat that went down from June.
There's articles that have said in the last 5 months rents have come down in Toronto, which is I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not
Yeah.
true. I don't see anywhere where maybe rents are coming down in some buildings because there's 80 units for rent right now.
Yeah.
But this thing here is saying in Canada. So 8.8%, the highest in 40 years. Rent inflation in Canada still humming.
Before we
TK.
talk about that, let's talk about rent. Okay. Let's talk about rent. Let me talk just quickly because I want to just
That's
close
not
off
talking about
time.
rent?
No, we're going to talk about rent, but just
Oh.
let me close off the Trudeau
Olivia
thing because
Chow?
I made no Olivia Chow's done, but
Oh,
Trudeau.
we're going back to Trudeau,
I
opening
put
that back up.
okay. What do you think the most Googled thing about Trudeau is?
Is he gay?
Trudeau's net worth.
Trudeau's net worth is That's just what comes up when you type in Justin Trudeau. The first thing says net worth.
So 2013, it was $1.2 million from an inheritance, and he had a $770,000, $1.2 million from an inheritance.
That's it.
And a $770,000 home with a 600 and change mortgage on it.
Yeah, look, the first thing that comes up is net worth.
Okay, now when you look up, if you go through some of the links, none of them are real like websites. Like none of them are like trustworthy news outlets.
No,
they're
somebody
all
was
just
paid
like
to flood that thing.
like type of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like now they're saying in 2019 it's 10 million. I've heard as high as 65 million. I hear these people spreading things on social media about how much he's worth. He's getting da 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 da. Guys, leave it alone. All right, leave it alone. You're not gonna find out what his net worth is by looking on the internet. Those links are fake. Now, Daryl's reading rent decreases from articles online. Darryl, who's your source?
There's no sources for anything anymore. It's literally just like headlines.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. So look, we had somebody on a few weeks ago who said that he couldn't rent his place and like rents were coming off and
he was asking too much money.
Well, so what about in these buildings downtown that have 20, 30 listings for rent?
I don't want to live in one of those buildings. They're brand new. They just got built. It's like the carpets aren't even on the floors yet. Who wants to live there?
So that doesn't count in the rent inflation then? I guess they didn't release. So where's this coming from then? What are people renting if they're not renting? Because the inventory is piling up, isn't it? Like it's really piling up. I just saw something that showed that single family houses were in like buyers territory right now.
Who said that?
Who said that? The number 3.1 said that. Isn't that months of inventory? If it's over 3, we're in a buyer's market, or is that like even
that's a
market?
Balanced market.
Balanced market. 3.1 to what? 5 is that the rule?
That's a good fair assessment. Yeah.
Bullshit balanced market. You be the seller right now and tell me how balanced the market is. Unless you got a humdinger in a great area and you somehow listen to your
I think
agent.
we just hit the summer market. Honestly, the first 2 weeks of July, I was having a really good amount of traffic coming in, but literally this week it was like, oh, we're in the summer market. People are doing stuff. Even me, like I got this training that we do on Thursdays. I just basically said to guys, let's pick it back up in September. Like, like there's just certain things that you just kind of right now are just sort of pushing aside because we're in the summer. We got stuff to do.
Stuff to do, places to go, people to see, money to spend, money to not spend.
I don't know.
What's going on?
But regardless, real estate is not a hot topic in the summer. And I got buyers who said to me, you know what? I'm doing so many things over the summertime. We're going to pick this back up in the fall. And I said, okay. Call me.
I don't need to sell. I don't need to buy. Doesn't matter.
And it doesn't look like prices are going up anytime soon. So there's no sense of urgency. But I did hear this, though. I did hear that economists expect the June inflation numbers to go down. And then next article,
didn't they?
The next article, it says realtors expect prices to rise.
Realtors expect prices to go crazy because not only CPI inflation fell, right? To 2.7%, which is like a giant drop from last month. Yeah. But what people are thinking is that, like, for sure now the Bank of Canada is going to cut rates again next week.
Yeah. And realtors are just salivating.
Oh my God. I put up a tweet.
Those buyers are coming back.
Let's go
back to doing absolutely nothing all day and making a whole bunch of money.
Let's go rate cuts.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Everybody's
those are the
that would be
those are the
great.
conversations. Those are the
Let's go.
conversations that are out
Cut
there right now.
fast. Cut fast. Cut quick. Let's go. Get
You
it
think
back
that's
to
what's
a
going to
point.
happen?
No.
I stopped making predictions.
No.
2024, you guys haven't heard me make any predictions. If you had, maybe I just don't remember it. But I feel like in 2024, I have basically said to myself, I'm not going to make these predictions because I just keep getting it wrong, or like no one really knows, or it doesn't really matter what I think.
Well,
So
who knows what happens, right? Like half an inch to the left, and there may have been civil war breaking out, and I don't know what that does to real estate. What is a civil war? I mean, are they going to quit there with Trump? Or are they going to try and kill him again? Or are they going to just give him the president? I mean, he still has to last the presidency, even if he lives to become the president, right? He's going to be dodging bullets for the next 4.5 years. So what is that? What if they do break into some crazy civil war because
the civil war happened though? It was like such a defined boundary of like southern, farmers and the rest. So it's like, to me, that's not going to happen. But I did talk to my
that want it to happen.
Talk to my barber who's from Sudan.
Well,
he would know. Daryl, he doesn't know.
No, he's an expert.
Not in there. What I'm trying to say is, in Sudan, okay, your question was, what would a civil war do? And he said, like, housing is just like not. Like nobody's getting housing.
Not top of mind.
Rich
Toronto though. It's not Sudan.
Like you can't get mortgages. Like nobody is like, I need to buy a house. Like it's just not a topic of conversation over there. Right.
Well, so that's not good.
And that's a pretty war-torn, conflicted country, right? South Sudan is the bad one. But regardless, I don't think that the situation, the landscape, I don't think
it's the same.
North America is going to change anytime soon to be like Sudan's.
No, not like Sudan. So, but if something does, hold on a second. We were literally half an inch away from God knows what breaking out, because if that guy died, people would have gone bananas. And so
we haven't had it. Like, this is bad to say, and I don't mean it, but it's on my mind, and this is a good show, and I want to just speak my mind, but we haven't had a good president assassinated for a little while. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's
president or a president.
I mean, a good old-fashioned assassination. You know what I mean? Like, this is just part of American history. Every once in a while, they assassinate presidents. I told you in Mexico, there was 37 people when they were running for president that were murdered.
But
37
he missed
people,
this time.
Daryl.
How many times
Imagine
does that happen?
You went to the ballot and you put your name on the ballot, knowing that this type of stuff happens.
No, but how
Who
many
does
times,
that?
How many times does a guy miss, and the guy that they tried to shoot is running against a geriatric who doesn't even know what planet he's on? Like, this is a interesting recipe for that country, because you can't possibly be happy with the outcome. I like Trump, okay? But like most people that like Trump, I don't know why they like Trump. I don't know if they like him because he's just better than Biden. They must like him because he's better than Biden, because I think
he's cool. He's
but
cool.
You got
he's like
330
like a guy's guy.
million
That's why
people
like him.
330 million people to choose from. Okay. And those are the two. I mean, how happy can you be?
Because of the votes, he's gonna get the votes. But I think what would have happened if they shot Biden in the head is they would have found out that he's basically just like Weekend at Bernie's. He's already dead.
Yeah.
And he's just moving around. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't actually have anything left in him. You know what I mean?
He would have deflated and flown off the screen.
They would have just been like, he would have just been like,
well, this thing is going off the rails quickly. So hold on a sec. So we started talking about rent, and I don't think we really took that conversation anywhere. But
I didn't.
So are you saying that rent is coming down, or is it going up, or it's just up from last year, but it's coming down?
The stats. It's month over month. It's starting to trend down. Yeah.
Trending down. So
more units, inflation. Economy is starting to have some cracks in it that's causing people to not be able to do the things they want to do. Maybe they don't move out of their parents' house. Maybe they don't get their own place. Maybe they stay with that boyfriend or girlfriend because they're paying the rent. These are the decisions people make in a bad economy.
Well, so Canadian new car sales are up like record levels. Did you hear that?
No.
I wonder if people are living in their cars. And
I went to a dealership today though. And wow, what a dealership that place was.
Another Lamborghini dealership.
Honestly,
can
honestly,
you just say it was one not enough, TK?
you know
Like,
what?
what is this?
After I test drove the first few, I was
Yeah.
just like, you know what? I'm used to this. But yeah,
I'm
I
used
agree.
to this.
I was like,
One
yeah,
is
no
enough.
big deal. It's just a Lamborghini. But and that's obviously we're being facetious here.
Yes.
No, I noticed that though. It was busy.
It was busy.
Yeah.
Like busy with people,
Like people were in there, like other people. It wasn't like staged. Like,
not
people
paid
were there
actors,
looking to buy cars.
because TK's
But
coming.
but I have a little like reminder set on these cars that I'm looking at on Auto Trader, and prices are coming down.
Prices are coming down on, but this is
That's
new
used
car
cars.
sales.
That's
Yeah.
used cars. Yeah.
Used cars are coming down. Hey.
Yeah.
Why is that? Yeah, because there's so much inventory. But why would new car sales be going up? This is so weird.
Another phenomenon that happened was I looked at the car. It was from 2020. Okay, and let's say the
2020.
price is 40,000, and I said, "How much is a brand new one of these?" And he said 40,000.
Right.
And the one he was selling was 2020 with like 20,000 kilometers or something like that, maybe 30. I don't know. But
The hell kind of car are you looking at there, TK?
no, I'm just saying, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, the brand new one's 40,000. He says, yeah, but if you order it, you have to wait. So it's like,
If you order the new one, you have to wait
because it's the same car. It's just 4 years model, few changes, barely anything.
some
low
warranty,
kilometers.
maybe. No.
I don't know, but 4
Yeah.
years old, maybe there's no warranty anymore. So I was just like, this seems
Hmm.
suspicious. Back
Yeah.
in my day, the new car was more expensive.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and they were pushing you towards it, not towards the used car.
the 4-year-old used car for the same price. Like, I don't know. I wasn't born, Thursday on a Thursday, but
there's people waiting for that to happen
That
in
doesn't make sense.
housing where you get 4 years ago
I
pricing.
meant to say I was born on a Monday, but I wasn't born yesterday. Yeah, I know.
But so how is this possible? Because cars are a really big purchase, like maybe the second biggest purchase most people make. How can car sales be going bananas?
They're not
And
going bananas.
Yeah,
I think
they're
it's a steady
breaking
market.
records.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I read it wrong, but it said breaking
My
records.
friend was buying a
record levels.
Corvette, and he had a deposit for a new Corvette, and it was like 3 years later, he still hadn't received it. So he's like, just give me my deposit back. You guys aren't taking this seriously.
And they gave it to them?
I don't know. I think it was only like $500 or something like that, just to be on the list.
This is not it. So, okay. What about, so we kind of touched on it. CPI inflation fell. Do you feel they said it fell because gas prices were cheaper? I don't remember filling up my car thinking gas prices are cheaper to a point where it will bring down inflation in Canada. Do you?
I did read that they're expecting in June to be the numbers. In May, it was because services had increased. And so they're expecting in June that services will still be high. But they did talk about rent prices coming down, and that could be a contributor factor. They talked about gas too.
They said gas was the main contributor.
That was last month, or what they're expecting for next month?
No, that's what they were saying for this last print
last
here,
May
2.7 or June.
Yeah.
So inflation is coming back down, and we have a Bank of Canada meeting coming up soon. And I mean, it would be pretty dumb. I mean, we said that, at least I said that last time. Of course, I was wrong. Well, maybe it was dumb that they cut last time, but
Why is it dumb?
they did it anyways. Why is it dumb?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people of the opinion that the market hasn't been washed enough yet, and that it still needs more pain and more cleanup.
There's the pains out there. You can drop rates to 2% again tomorrow.
Yeah.
It doesn't help people, because the people who, like the people that I'm helping right now, they're not using their savings to pay for their bills. Okay, they're taking on more debt. They're borrowing it personally from friends and family.
So what are they going to do? Rent?
They're absolutely 100% going to have to sell the properties.
No, I know, but they're going to sell and then rent after, or they're going to really
Whatever.
downsize?
Some of them still have equity. Like some of them, they've got a huge amount of equity. It's just that they can't afford those monthly payments, and they can't.
Right, so then what do you do?
Because they're at their they can't refinance. That's not going to help them.
Right. So what do you do? You have to downsize or move somewhere cheaper, I guess, or rent.
Like every other situation. You think when MC Hammer was leaving that big mansion and Vanilla Ice, you think they would just They just said, I'll just find a cheaper mansion now. No, they downsized.
What a wonderful analogy that
Right?
you drew there.
I'm thinking about the guys who, left the big houses, you downsize. When things go wrong, you downsize. You find
When
a smaller
things go
place.
wrong, if you're
Get a little one
fortunate enough.
bedroom near Santa Monica Beach.
Yeah, listen, when everything went to hell for me, thank God I owned my home, because if I didn't, then things would have got even uglier than they got. That's for sure. At least I had some equity in my house that I could, scrape together and help pay off some of the debts that I owed.
Mhm.
But I wonder, what are renters in trouble right now? I guess there must be a ton of renters that are in construction that are about to get laid off.
You don't hear
Or
those stories.
how come you don't hear
Right?
those
You're never
stories?
hearing, you know why? One,
Because
they're at
they
the
don't pay
landlord-tenant
rent.
board.
They just stay there and they say,
They're just
fuck
like,
this. Wait till I get
when
a
you
job.
when you can't afford your rent anymore, you know what you do?
Stop paying it.
You just stop paying it.
You just stop
Right?
paying it.
And they're just like, man, this inflation.
God damn it.
Can't afford my rent.
Not
Right?
doing
They
it.
just squat for a few months and then they go find somewhere cheaper. Downsize.
Or get a job and figure it out, I guess. No?
I don't know. They have jobs.
Do people
That's the
do that?
problem. It's just their rent.
No, but they're
like
not
if you
going to
signed up for
have jobs
$3,000 a
soon.
month rent
You didn't
and
listen
your
to the
income
scenario,
is
TK.
4,000. Okay, go.
But
Start
these were like construction workers, let's say, that are about, every time a crane comes down, there must be, I don't know, a few hundred people that are no longer going to be needed anywhere, somewhere in the real estate market, right? Every time, a bunch of cranes come down, that's, thousands maybe of people that will no longer have jobs because the cranes won't go back up in another location, right? So we're going to go from like 300 cranes down to, I don't know, like nobody's launching, right? The few brave souls that tried to launch a couple months ago, those just kind of disappeared. They vanished.
They just
you didn't
took the
hear
signs
anything.
down.
It's like it never happened. Right?
No one ever announces projects off. Sorry, all deposits will return to anybody who made them. Like you never hear that in the news unless it's like
see in a bit.
JBM management is now taking over the site where deposits for the purchasers should be returned to all purchasers within the next 365 days. Purchasers, please email jbmanagement@jbmanagement.com for more information. That's when you hear about the deposits getting returned. Not any other way.
But as these cranes come down and these people don't have jobs to replace the ones they currently have, and they're renters, right? So like we hear about homeowners getting clobbered right now, but there's got to be a wave of other people that are just going to get absolutely smashed soon, right? And there must be new restaurateurs that took on cheaper loans maybe during COVID to start a new restaurant that are going to have to renew their loan, right?
Took a variable rate mortgage in order to be able to buy that business.
Or even took a line of credit against their house. But I'm talking just like a normal business loan that was maybe at 2.5% back then is now going to renew at 6, 7%, 5%. And it's going to be like, now it's all old shit you have debt on, right? Now you need more equipment again. And it's just like those guys are all going to disappear at some point. And I can't see the trend of small retailers not getting decimated over more time. So it's like at some point we're going to see this. And if we haven't seen it yet, it's like, when is all of that coming, right? Is it when all these mortgages renew in 25, 26? Because that's a fucking long time from now. That's going to suck balls, man. Is it going to be going shit till then for real?
It's going to stay like this until then.
It's going to stay like this until then. This.
Yeah.
This can't stay like this.
There's going to be a crunch on everybody.
If it stays like this till 26,
until we get to the point where everybody comes out, we all know how much debt we've got, what kind of interest rate environment we're in, what can we really afford to carry, and then make those tough decisions on the next steps, which a lot of the times is going to be sell, right? A lot of the times is going to be sell. I don't have big hopes and dreams for the Toronto real estate market at this point in time. Like that's the truth. There's no signs where I'm like, oh wow, wait till this happens. We're really going to pop. I mean, eventually it'll come back to that type of market, but there's just such a mess to clean up, especially in pre-construction. That is the absolute biggest scam of the city of Toronto. the last 5 years of pre-construction condo sales.
Mhm.
Thousands of units have been sold at inflated prices that will not appraise, that people will be buying and closing on because if they don't, they'll get sued. And that those prices are well above what the current resale value is of those condos, and that those prices may never be achieved. They may never be achieved, right? That
So-
person might die
So
before they're able to sell that unit for the price they paid.
how many people will be able to actually close, hang on, and kind of wait, or can it like scatter itself in a way that it's actually manageable and absorbable without causing too much chaos? Like, is everybody just gonna go, okay, fuck it, I'm out, I can't do this, fuck it, I'm out, bye, can't do this.
What does everybody do? Like, do you know who needs to lose a lot of money? Someone needs to lose. There's one particular player in this whole game of real estate that just needs to lose a ton of money so
Yeah.
that everybody else can just go back to doing what they do.
I know who.
Oh, tell me who.
Sam Mizrahi.
The banks.
Everybody would be fine if Sam lost all the money and then everybody
the
else.
banks need to take a big hit.
Oh, banks. Is that
Yeah.
going to happen?
But they're going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that they don't. And they're going to come up with all sorts of policies that passes the risk onto the borrower as opposed to themselves.
30-year mortgages, not AMs, mortgages.
This is what they're going to do.
terms?
They once the government is no longer
50-year AM,
stepping on their
30-year term.
toes, they're going to put all of their weight behind extending amortizations, which they already did, right? They found these ways to be able to make it work. They're going to be looking at how to, requalify people, how to, make the stress test be a little bit
Hey,
more
says
palatable.
he's got a job. Okay,
Right?
approve him.
They're going to
He
be
says he's
they're
got
going to
a
be looking at
job.
more mortgage fraud files coming in and probably not looking at them as close as they need to be.
This
the
guy
banks-
says he's got good
the
prospects and
banks-
high hopes. Give him a mortgage.
We've easily got, with 2 something trillion worth of mortgage debt, right?
What does that
We
even
got to
mean?
we got to eliminate half of it.
Trillion. Half. Oh,
We got to eliminate half
that's
of it. Yeah, we got to eliminate half of it.
How does that fucking not hurt like hell?
It hurts like hell.
Like hell. That's like getting hit in the face with a surfboard.
Yeah, and the banks are going to have their fair share, but there's also going to be a lot of individuals too who get burned, right? Or net worth.
$1.5 trillion.
This is what it is, though. This is what the solution is, right? Is that we can't an economy can't carry on with this much debt where everybody's payments, the government, everybody's just working to pay off this debt. Like there's societies that have been, well documented. I'm not going to name them or anything like that because I'm not that smart. But when you start carrying that much debt and you start having all those issues where the money's no longer going into the economy for innovation and for creativity and for future infrastructure and stuff like that, it's just going to service debt. That's the worst thing. I'm seeing these statements. I'm seeing them online a lot, like $1.2 million mortgages, $75,000 worth of payments, $74,000 was interest. You can't
77,000 was interest.
Whatever it was they paid off $1,000. The $1.2 million mortgage, they paid it down $1,000.
No, most people owe more, don't they? Most
regardless.
people are
In that
backwards.
case, no, that would be negative amortized. This would be like a 70-year amortized, whatever it is. You've got literally payments that are going out into just like into space. You get nothing for them. All that, it's different when you're saving and you're paying off the principal.
Yeah.
It's different, but you're getting shelter.
Well, it's still the same as paying rent if you're not getting any equity out of the deal.
Well, tell the guy paying, $7,000 a month for his house.
Wasn't that the deal?
For $3,000.
If I'm getting a mortgage, don't I get
$7,000 a month, and with all the maintenance, taxes, insurance, and everything else, utilities, who could be renting the same house for $3,000? Tell him that, Darryl, and see what he says.
No, but that's the unwritten deal, right? Is that if I am stupid enough or smart enough or ballsy enough to own this thing, that at some point in time I get to make a lot of money off of it, right? That's the unwritten rule. But sometimes that rule doesn't have very good timing and decides to like disappear for a little while. The problem is everybody forgets that that's not really a rule, right? Everybody gets all caught up.
The reason we didn't write it down is because it's not actually
unwritten,
a rule.
because
there's no guarantee
right.
that's what's going to happen. Can we talk about something positive, Darryl?
Sure. Yeah. Why
Okay.
not? I mean,
Well, you
is
had an
there anything
application
positive?
go in recently.
Oh, TK, I did, and I
Yeah,
paid. Do you know how much the application fee is for a tiny little building right now?
I would
Just the
say
application fee
you
for them
pay a
to,
hundred grand.
yeah,
Is it?
little more
Wow.
than 100 grand.
Yeah.
$105,000 to apply for a new building.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Which but you don't get by the you don't get back if they
You
say
don't
no.
get back if you change your mind and say, you know
Yeah.
what, like you guys said you're going to let me do this, and now you're saying this, and now it doesn't work. I've changed my mind. Give me my money back. They're like,
Yeah.
no, because we kind of looked at it for a couple seconds.
Yeah. So
We've
tell us
earned
about
that
it.
fee.
Tell us what you can.
Well, listen, I mean, what do you get for that? You get them to look at your plans and tell you that you're missing a few things here and there, and that for some weird reason they would like you to cut this back and move this over here and change this to that and put this here. But it's further on down the road towards having a more concrete idea of what we're actually going to build there, which is wonderful, right? Because
Okay.
then when you actually know what you have, we think we know what we have, but
Yeah.
we're not 100% certain, right? We've
Yeah.
talked to the city a few times and we've got their feedback and we've tried to
Done
appease
everything
everybody.
possible to have a clear picture, but there's just only so much you can do.
Well, and now is when the games really begin.
What
So
about bribing the counselors? Is that a thing or is that just in the movies?
I think it was probably a thing a while ago,
Yeah.
back in the older days
In the
of
olden days, you just
development.
show up at the counselor's house and tell him
I
to pay for his
suppose
kid's
it
private school.
happens in ways that, aren't bribes, but
Mhm.
I mean, who am nobody wants a bribe from me, and I don't do projects big enough to bother bribing
Nobody's
anybody.
propositioning you.
No, and quite honestly, I mean, all of the deals that I've done, I kind of thought this is what it is, and this is what I went for. And the city, I think, appreciates that I don't ram stuff down their throat that shouldn't be, where I'm trying to put it, like a lot of people
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And I just try and really work with them so that something comes quicker than not. And I don't go into something thinking like, oh, I need to get this for it to really be good. I have a very low expectation if I'm going to do a deal. So
Yeah.
it's hopefully just kind of like a very good, quick experience. But TK,
What? Tell me.
let's wake up for a second here.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know what's going to come. I don't know what they're going to throw at me. And
What about the
I don't know how
community?
long it's going to take. But again, it's like it's a necessary step to get further. It's a celebratory step because it takes a lot of work to actually get everything that the city wants in order to put in an application, right?
Mm.
They want a lot of stuff. They want a lot of reports. And it's pretty crazy the amount of actual work that has to go into just putting in the application for zoning. Forget about getting site plan approval. I mean, that's going to be a whole other process after the zoning, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I suppose this is definitely good news. We are further along. It took us a little bit longer than we were hoping because we had to wait for that hydrant flow test over the winter that the city just closes down completely. But a couple steps forward.
What about the community consultation? When are you
I
expecting that?
imagine that's going to happen. I mean, now that there's an application in, we'll have to schedule something like that. They'll kind of tell us when and how that's going to go down next.
Sometimes developers have like community meetings before, like pre-application, you know?
Well, believe me, I mean, I've had plenty of in-person meetings with the neighbors throughout the last few months.
Mhm.
Many coffees at the Starbucks in the village with many of the more vocal or
The what do they
prominent
call them?
neighbors in the
The
area.
long tooth, the old heads,
I
the
don't
guys
know.
the guys who've been around there for long, the guys who are making the decisions.
Well,
I'll
so
talk to Mary. Don't worry. I'll talk to Mary. Don't worry. I'll let her
yeah,
know that you guys need to do 10 stories. Yeah.
that's right. When they
Yeah.
everybody's going to help you until they stick the knife in your back,
Yeah.
right? They want to know what's going on and they're
Yeah.
very helpful.
It's
But
like my
who
neighbor who
knows?
called the tree people on me. You
Well,
know?
maybe.
The tree was about to fall down, it was about to break houses. But anyways, the report that I got back from somebody
Oh,
that I hired,
Yeah.
I went to your guy, but the arborist gave me another guy. And but your guy was very helpful. And he says it was an undersized tree. There wasn't a permit required. So it was fine.
No way. That was
Yeah.
wow. That
That's
was
all it is.
undersized.
Well, at the end of the day, the tree's gone.
Holy cow.
It was undersized. Listen,
Then I
it was
don't
tall,
feel
it looked
so
bigger
bad
than it
about
was from
myself if
outside,
that thing was undersized.
but it was
TK.
undersized. Yeah, you
I'm
didn't need a permit.
gigantic, bro.
Yeah.
Thing was a monster.
No, it was undersized.
All right. I like
Yeah.
that. That was
Good.
definitely undersized.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, so that's good news. I still have a bunch of trees to deal with the neighbors over there in Forest Hill. That's going to be a whole other thing. Bunch of trees on all sides. That'll be fun. We'll see how that goes. I'm in discussions with the neighbors on that.
Are you?
So far,
The apartment guys?
no response.
Okay.
A little bit of response. No response for quite some time, but you know, people need their time to decide if they're going to be helpful or not helpful, I suppose.
Yeah. Like, why not be helpful? Like,
well, again,
what value do you have in stopping literally something that is going to increase the value of your neighborhood, where everyone is going to want to live in your neighborhood now because that iconic building is going to be there where all these, wonderful people are living?
Well, if
it's a no-brainer.
I know, but if you could magically just make the beautiful iconic building appear overnight and there wasn't all of the traffic issues and all of the dust issues and dirt issues that the neighbors obviously should be and are concerned about, that would make things a lot easier. But the reality is that in order to clean up this derelict, disgusting literally dog shit infested site, and turn it into something beautiful, everybody should just kind of get ready and really embrace this thing and get behind it, because I don't want to fight with anybody. I just want to build a beautiful building in a beautiful spot for some very wealthy, beautiful people, TK. Right? I mean, I'm trying to help here, for God's sake.
And we would do it for free if we could.
They gotta, well, you speak for yourself, TK, and I'll be looking for that commission check back from you next week. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I mean, wealthy people, they got to live somewhere, TK. Sometimes some of them got to live in 7 places, but they still buy units. And right, if they want to buy something in Toronto, they're going to buy something in Toronto. So we may as well make stuff for them too. So I'm getting tired of people saying that they don't matter because they're big, expensive units and it's not helping, right? That's allowing them to not buy a unit in a building that maybe you want to buy in, TK, right? So it's enough already with all of this nonsense.
Tired of fighting over condo units with the rich, you know? Yeah.
Like, just leave it
just
for the middle
so
class. The upper middle class want units too.
Yeah. I just want to buy a unit,
Right. And so I'm trying to provide options for the real uber wealthy so that they leave those other units alone for people.
I'm not going to change my tune because it's your project. Anybody buying pre-construction condos is an idiot. But
I think this
your building
is a little different.
Will those idiots have money to spend?
That's right.
And that they don't mind going into something like that because it's going to be a great product for them and they're not worried about making money. The people buying pre-construction to make money, that's where the speculation came from. And that's why we're in this situation. And look, 5 years ago, I'd say you're a genius. Like I'm not going to pretend like I'm all high and mighty here. Now in hindsight, I can say, no, you bought a price in 2018 that was already inflated 30-40% and the market's barely gone up. And now you're underwater. Like, welcome to real estate. You did nothing. You put down a deposit. What was your strategy? Did you have an in from the builder? Oh no, you lined up and you just got on a worksheet and you paid the same price as everyone else. Where is the strategy here? How is this not just speculation?
Well, and I mean,
teach us this in real estate school,
I've been embarrassed on the show before to say my opinion on pre-construction when everybody knows that, I develop properties for pre-construction, but I try and stay with products that I think the end user is going to want. This one, this is not the normal project.
Nobody's buying one for a rental in that building.
Nobody's even getting a mortgage in this building. I mean, if somebody needs financing, then they're not going to get a unit in this thing, right? Because they're very expensive units. And like we said, the kind of people that buy this kind of unit, they're not showing income and they're not showing a salary that can pay a $2.5 to $3.5 million mortgage. And they're
I'm
not
gonna
putting
put it
down
out there.
20% here.
Listen, I'm going to put it out here right now. Okay, guys who are listening, if you want to live with me in Daryl's new building and you want to go splitsies
That's
on
right.
one of the units, we might need like 6 or like 10 of us.
Yeah.
We can just rotate kind of like a timeshare. Let me know. All right.
It's a great investment.
I got
I'm
an
sure.
in with the developer. All
Well,
right.
I don't
can
know how
get us a
many
unit.
I don't know how many units there's actually going to be left if we launch this thing, because there's quite a few people that have said that they want a unit already.
Yeah.
A lot
The
of
show
them
should have
are.
one. And we'll Airbnb it.
I've got my eye on one. I don't know if I'll ever be able to convince my wife to move there, but I mean,
I don't think
these
it's a good
main
investment.
floor units with backyards are
I know.
pretty awesome.
I know, but I don't
Pretty
think it's
awesome.
like a make money type of deal. It's like a you're
No,
paying
I
for
want to live
luxury.
in it. I want to instead of taking some profit, I'll take one of those units.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
That'd be
Oh
sweet if
my
you're there.
God.
Yeah.
I would love
What
that.
a life. Yeah.
My wife doesn't want to live in a condo. It doesn't matter what it is. But those, I got a feeling maybe that'll change your mind. Because I'm getting sick of this freaking house already, man. I'm getting sick
You had
of
some
living
more
in
issues.
a house.
What was the guy this week doing? What was he up to?
Oh my God. Did you see my video?
Yeah.
Did I send that to you?
Yeah.
That guy smelled so bad, TK. I felt bad. It's not the
You
first
kicked
time
him out of the house? Is that what you said? You
I
said,
had
listen,
to kick
buddy,
him
this
out of
is
Well,
I
he
can't handle
came
this.
in like a few times and he just smelled, but like it was tolerable. It was bad, but it was tolerable.
Yeah.
This time it was coming through the floors from the basement into my office. And I was like, is somebody cutting onions in the kitchen? Like, what's going on here? This is horrendous. And he said,
What was he
"Excuse
doing,
me,
though?
sir."
What was he doing?
Just
Don't
some
do any
drywall
accents.
patching.
He was doing some
Drywall patching.
patching.
This
Okay,
is
the
going to be a
stinky
horrible
drywall guy.
accent, but like,
All right.
excuse me, sir, I'm finished. Can you come take a look at the work? And I was like, I okay. And then I was like, I got stuck in his draft, right? And I was like, holy cow,
You're
man.
downwind. You're downwind
Fuck,
from
I
him.
was behind them,
Oh, man.
drafting him right down
Oh,
the stairs.
no.
And I had to pull my my shirt up over my nose. And
He's
I
probably
said,
working hard. He's sweating all day. You know what I mean? So it's like he's not
I don't
like
care.
trying
No.
to think about deodorant.
I'm guessing he probably lives in a tent somewhere and hasn't had a chance to shower in a week.
So, no.
I don't know, man.
The way you pay him, maybe.
This is through Jiffy, okay? This is
Okay,
supposed
Jiffy's
to be
good.
like
Jiffy's good.
you're supposed
Jiffy's
to get
soundproof. Listen, I'm gonna plug Jiffy right now. Jiffy, when I use
this was a
Jiffy,
mess,
first of
man.
all, it's expensive. It's the most expensive way to go, but
ridiculous pricing.
But
And they
when they
smell
come,
like shit.
they do.
I'm gonna play the video.
They do the job that they're supposed to do.
Holy.
And also if they don't, you can like tell the guys like, listen, I'm not paying you, or like I'm not happy, or you want to come back or whatever, because they don't want to get a bad review on there because it impacts them getting future jobs. It also impacts the split they have with Jiffy. So they really will make sure the job is done right. So to me, certain jobs require Jiffy because it's guaranteed that they're going to show up and that they're going to come. And when I need something done in a Jiffy, I call Jiffy.
So, but hold on a sec. So I follow the guy downstairs to go check out the work because he says he's done. And it's like the 4th day that he's come. This is not a 4-day job. But anyways, I got my shirt. It's coming through my shirt. It's coming through my fingers. Like I can't. I go, buddy, you smell so bad. You have to get out of my house right now. I can't do this. Like you have to leave. And I ran back in my office and I closed the door and I waited like behind the door. It's got glass windows on the door, right? And I'm like waiting to see him leave so I can lock the door behind them, right?
Poor guy.
And oh my God. But I'll put the
video
video
for his
up.
family and the stink and the
It smells
picky
so bad.
developer client can't even handle him.
No. I was gonna throw up, TK. That video that I
saw
did,
the video, yeah.
But that was the second one after I had already like barfed in
Gone
my
through all
mouth and realized how bad it was. I was like, I need to film this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just me. Like my family lives there, and they were like,
one day we'll be able to smell through video. Think they'll tackle all the senses?
I told Jiffy to send someone over here and smell this thing right away, but they didn't.
They didn't.
They didn't do it.
If only you could capture this smell and then email it to them.
Well, I think I encapsulated the smell quite well with that video, don't you?
Yeah.
Does it look like I'm acting?
No, it looks pretty legit.
That was legit and real as hell. Anyways,
What else?
TK,
Do we have anything else to talk about before we
I
close
don't
up?
know.
Yeah.
I feel like we just talked a couple of days ago. I don't think
but
too much has
you're on
happened.
vacation right now, so I hope you're doing your thing and you're
Hopefully.
relaxing and having fun. It's summertime.
Yeah, listen.
People are
I'm
shutting
hoping
things down for
to
the summer.
see some cool stuff in Pittsburgh.
Cool. Never
And then
been.
in a couple of weeks,
No
going
intentions
to
of
New
going.
York. That'll be exciting. Taking everybody to New York.
Yankee Doodle.
No Yankee game while we're there. Dumbest move ever. I thought they were going to be there, and I screwed that up. But we're going to go take a tour of Yankee Stadium.
What about a Pittsburgh game?
Yeah, we're going to Pirates game. We're going to Pirates game. Very exciting.
There we go.
Going to Pirates game against the Phillies. Here we go, TK.
I love
All
it.
right. Well, Mr. TK, always a
Another
pleasure.
great show.
It was another wonderful show.
Till next week.
Until next week. Arrivederci, signor.